Here we go.
Rex, you're on with Corey Taylor.
All right. Hey, Corey, what are you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
You know, I don't know if you remember us, but I have to like, you know, I got to hit you with the memory here really, really early. Just so you know, we're the radio station that did the crazy April Fool's Day joke like 10 years ago where I pretended I was you in the parking lot and autographed people's stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You remember that?
Right on.
Absolutely. Just to establish, you know, just a starting ground. Because
You're the guys.
Yeah, because Gino and I, you know, everybody's going, oh, you're going to talk to Corey Taylor. But I'm like, he's a huge celebrity. I mean, I'm just a small town girl living in a lonely world. Trying to say
you know, the good thing is you can take the midnight train and going anywhere.
Going anywhere.
Uh-oh, we got a cover idea.
Hey, don't mock America's song, dude. Don't you mock America's song.
So what's it been like touring since the last time we saw you? I guess you were here maybe, 2 years ago or so?
Yeah, the sold-out show over there at Concrete Shoes. Huge.
Yeah,
it's massive.
You know, it's been a slow road, you know, kind of coming back and you know, but the great thing is we, you know, this band doesn't do anything that it doesn't feel.
Yeah.
You know, so we, you know, we knew that, you know, after kind of getting our head taken off, you know, with losing Paul, we knew that it was going to be a long road.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that we didn't want to rush right into something and do it just for, you know, the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it took a little time, but then, you know, probably at the beginning of this year, it really started to kind of ramp up for us, and it really got to the point where we were like, you know what, it feels like it's time.
Yeah.
Everybody had kind of been, you know, working on some music here and there, and you know, by the time we got into the studio, we were ready. You know, I'm really glad we took our time on that.
I got to tell you, we weren't even going to bring it up at all, and the whole thing is, I think the bottom line, and you probably feel much the same. The bottom line is really that final product you guys put out. It always comes down to, is the music good, and did you feel it when you did it? Because there's a difference, you know, the art that you create, and anybody out there who ever makes anything, I don't care if you weld sculptures, I don't care if you play with clay, if you paint, whatever it is, or guitar, no one can tell you, hey, Rex, or hey, Corey, go in that room right there and make me a masterpiece. But you know what? Yeah. When I feel it and when I want to do it, I'll sit down and work on a project for 20 hours straight, and it won't even feel like an hour has passed by. So really, you can't push the art. And I think that's kind of what you're saying, is the fact that it felt like time, and you created something beautiful out of it, or something banging out of it. And I guess it's smart of you. That's an intellectual thing that you did there by waiting instead of having somebody pressure you to put out something that wasn't ready.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, and to kind of come back to what you were talking about kind of forcing it, you know, you can't really force it. I've been in situations where I've been brought in to write with different bands.
Yeah.
You know, this is something I don't talk about a lot because it's such an uncomfortable thing to do, is just kind of walk in and it's like, all right, we're going to make a hit. Woo! You know,
is it almost because the expectations are so high that they're kind of just staring at you like, let's do this? When are you going to do it? Are you doing it now?
I think so, you know, and it's almost like walking in cold, you know? It's like you don't know these people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what they want to do. You don't know what kind of, you know, what they want to say, and it's, you know, and it's one of the reasons why I stopped doing it. You know, I did a handful of them, and I was like, you know what, I don't feel this. And if I never do this again, that's okay, because I still get to write my own stuff, and I know when the stuff comes to me, I immediately write it down, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, when I get an idea in my head, it takes me about 4 minutes to write a song. And I mean from top to bottom, and with flourishes and with the ear candy, I can hear it all in my head just that quick. But you can't chase that idea. You have to let that idea come to you. And that's kind of, you know, it's what we did with this. You know, I had been writing a bunch of stuff. Jim had been writing a ton of stuff. He got together with Clown and a couple of people and really started kind of fleshing it out. So by the time we went into the studio, we had so much killer material that it was almost like, okay, well, God, what's not going on the album, you know?
Yeah. Did you guys end up with like a reserve for maybe like a little EP kind of thing later or something? A lot of guys are doing that.
We ended up with a handful of songs, a couple of which will be on the special edition, because they always want to milk you for all you got. You know,
sure.
The label, God bless them, you know, whatever.
Let's get a hit.
Can you be number one-er
Like,
with
oh,
this
you're
one?
giving us 14 songs? Well, that's clearly not enough. It's like,
Hey, it almost sounds like you must work here because, Gino and I, it's almost like the boss looks and goes, hey, can you guys be number one-er?
yeah,
Can
yeah,
y'all be,
exactly. It's like, do I look like a stone you're going to squeeze blood out of?
and everything.
Come on.
You guys, it's really awesome, and y'all make us millions, but can you be number one-er? How am I? What?
Yeah, a little more number one-er if you could,
Hey, I'm going to play the new Slipknot number one-er on the charts.
Yeah.
Coming up here for you. Ladies and gentlemen, here it
They
comes.
really squeezed this one out.
Well, I tell you what, I squeeze most of mine out in the morning. So after coffee.
After some black coffee and a Marlboro Ultralight Menthol 100. There you go.
Hey, I don't want to brag. I'm smoking lights. Okay? I'm not smoking the sticks. I got the lights going. I know where I'm at.
I thought they were the ultralight menthols. It was one of those.
No. The funny thing about menthol is I think this is everybody's starter smoke.
Yeah.
Because it seems like everybody's mom smokes menthols.
Yeah.
So when you start smoking, that's what you steal
It's just there.
in the morning. It's like, I'll just dip into mom.
I thought it was Virginia
Ouch.
Slims. That was mine.
Virginia Slim.
No. My
Capris.
mom smoked Salem Lights, and they were the most horrid. I mean, oh God, I still have nightmares about it. It's like,
Corey.
geez, it's like sucking on a car freshener, man.
Oh, man. I remember my first cigarette. I was like 16 at a bowling alley. My friend had cigarettes, and they were like, it literally looked like a straw. It was so long.
It's like a Capri.
Oh,
Like-
dude, it's like you got to have a friend light it because it's so damn long. It's ridiculous.
Hey, get down there on the end. Light this wick.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
totally.
awesome.
Go to the end of the bowling alley and set this thing on fire.
Strike!
I was listening to The Devil and I, and at any given time, I was driving 23 miles an hour and then up to 78 miles an hour. And so the song is it's a real slap in the face. And I don't, if people haven't heard it, you don't know what I'm saying, but it's got some really slow, tones to it, and then all of a sudden it just bam, and that you cannot get over that just crazy drumming that's going on throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
It's
it's a great tune, man.
Did it come to you
I
in
think
your head like that? Was it already written before you wrote it in your brain? Was that how you wanted
I
it?
tell you what, man, I give total credit to Jim. Jim's the guy that wrote the music on that.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, and the thing with that, when I'm writing lyrics to music that's already kind of put together, I let the music kind of take me where it needs to go. So I knew that there were so many great peaks and valleys going on musically that, you know what, I'm not going to fight the current on this. I'm going to follow it and just let it guide me where it needs to go. And there's just something about that song was so special.
Yeah.
And I love the dynamics of it. Nobody writes dynamics anymore.
Yeah.
Everything's just a straight line. And it's like, God, you're missing this opportunity. This isn't a hamburger. It doesn't have to be the same thing over and over and over. It's, create something. You're going to get on the radio, make a statement. And I think we made a statement with this tune.
It's got a real the interesting guitar effects that take place and the different tones and how it just gets really deep. And it's something I don't think I've heard from you guys before in any of your music.
As we get older, we take a few more risks, and because you have to.
Yeah.
If you're not taking any risks, then you're just churning out the same old crap. And for us, we don't do anything if it's not challenging. We don't do anything if it's not interesting. I mean, there are certain songs that we write that have the same intensity.
Yeah.
But when it comes to really kind of trying to broaden the horizons or expand those boundaries, man, you've got to be able to take risks and really come at it from a point of view. It's like we've never done anything like this before. Let's do it. Just because you've never done anything like that before shouldn't mean that you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And too many bands play it safe. Too many bands paint by numbers, and we're gonna throw the whole bucket at the canvas and say, there it is, figure it out.
Are there some favorite songs on the radio right now for you, or some favorite bands that you like right now? I've been checking out Theory of a Dead Man a little bit more lately. Some more Pop Evil, even some more Buck Cherry that I hadn't heard before, and it's been kind of a little surprising journey to go back and listen to some of these things that I had sort of missed, because I think in radio you're so clinging to that one hit, that you're played, that later on you don't really get to explore too deeply into anybody's music anymore. And so,
well, I tell you what, man, I don't really get to listen to the radio that much anymore, to be honest. But for me, I tell you what, and I'm not just saying this because I'm friends with these guys, but I love Buck Cherry is a great rock band.
Yeah.
And they put on one hell of a show. Josh is a hell of a singer, hell of a front man.
Yeah.
And those guys, you want to talk about taking risks, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they'll push the envelope lyrically to the point where you're like, wow, this is borderline Steel Panther. I love it. You know, I mean, they don't. And Steel Panther is one of my favorite bands, man. They're my favorite band to watch live, and they always will be. And I make no qualms about it. They're fantastic. So I love Buck Cherry. To me, they put the raunch back in it.
Yeah, they do,
and they don't care. They don't care. They're like, you know what? We're not trying to do anything other than be who we are. And they know they're great rock musicians, and they can write a song. So, kudos to them. I love it.
We had them on yesterday. We did an interview with those guys in person. They were here for the Uproar Festival with Godsmack and a bunch of other bands, Seether and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
And we got to sit down with those guys for about 20 minutes and pick their brains, and it was a really interesting and good to play again on the radio, interview. So those are, I understand what you mean about those guys really taking the risk of saying, well, we may starve on this one, but at least I put out something that made me internally happy. It sounds like that's about where you are now, because I think when your band first erupted on the scene, people, they set their egg timer to it, and they went, well, this will be over. It's a bunch of, I get it. They're guys in masks. I see. It's a bunch of guys in masks, and they're jumping around, and it's kind of scary to the kids, and it'll be gone in a year. So 10-ish years later, however the hell long it's been. 15 now. My God, I'm old. That's
right.
That is
you and me both.
You've got to feel pretty good about that, churning out, hit after hit and still being relevant after, 15 years. So that's something.
Let me tell you, man, nobody was more surprised by our success than we were.
Oh, yeah?
And I mean that sincerely. None of us. I mean, I can remember we used to have, conversations, and this is true. This is absolutely true. We were gonna break up after the first album. We were like, wouldn't this be the most punk rock thing we could ever do, is release this one album
and then quit,
go out and just dominate everything and then just go away.
Goodbye.
Wouldn't that,
Thanks.
dude? I mean, and for better or for worse, somebody talked us into sticking around. But, dude, I thought that was so genius, and I was so into it. Of course, I was 24 at the time.
Yeah.
Or 25, So to me, it was just like, yeah, screw it. It was so fun to talk about.
It was very almost famous.
Honestly, we were convinced that we were just going to be a lifestyle band. We would maybe sell 200,000 albums at the time, which is pretty good. That'll keep you on the road. We had no idea, dude. I mean, it was, by February of 2000, we were gold. About 6 months later, we were platinum. And, that first album is done, I think like 5 million copies, maybe more now. And it's just like, what?
Wow. Wow.
Dude, I, to this day, giggle about it. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
How did this happen? That's awesome.
The thing that's great about it is that, to me, and this is just me speaking, I can't tell you how lucky we are, man, to be honest. Things could have gone completely different. And for some reason, we touched on something that just spoke to people, I mean, we got through to enough people who saw that it wasn't a fad and it wasn't a cliche and it wasn't just a gimmick. This was something very artistic and very important to us. And, that message really kind of resounded. So I am extremely lucky to have the kind of career that I have. And I'll never, ever say anything against it.
Do you have like a favorite song? I mean, that's a tough one, but I mean, I've got a favorite tune. For some reason, Vermilion Part 2 speaks to me. I don't know why, but it's just one of those that I absolutely love. Psychosocial on the other side of the other end of the coin screams at me in all the right ways. Is there a song that you you really look forward to playing? Because I know it's been a long time you guys have been playing your music, and at sometimes you got to feel like the Beach Boys. You're like, everybody's going surfing. Oh my God!
Yeah, right.
Kill me now, surfing USA. Oh my God! I'm still singing this 50 years later. Is there a song you look forward to performing? I mean, is there one that just goes, I can't wait for this one to come on?
Ironically, and people might think this is funny just because of me being in Stone Sour as well. My favorite Slipknot song to play is pretty much any of the ones that'll rip your head off, because I get so jazzed on stage. Like, I could literally explode and I'd feel all right about it. My favorite song that we have ever done, and this has been my favorite all the way up until this new album, which there's kind of one that ties for my favorite now, but my favorite song to play live is Disaster Piece, because that song, to me, that was one of the first ones that we wrote for Iowa when we were putting Iowa together, and I can remember just thinking, man, this is next level for us. This is just, it's so different. I mean, you've got so many different styles colliding into one just brilliant tune. And but I will say that on the new album, my second favorite, or it's tied for first right now, is AOV. And when people hear this, you're going to understand why. It is such it's a barn burner, man.
Really?
We go through so many musical set of gymnastics. There's 6 different styles of music going on in this song. And yet it all works. It doesn't feel like Interrupt Us. It doesn't feel like we just did it for music's sake. Everything flows so well that people are going to lose their minds when they hear it.
That was great. Well, thanks for talking to us. I know you guys are going to be here live November 1st at the American Bank Center Arena. You can get your tickets on Ticketmaster.com. I looked at them last night, and you've got Slipknot with Korn November the 1st. We've been giving away tickets like madmen over here. But, man, I really do appreciate you taking a little time with us, a little extra time to hang out and just kind of talk it up. We're excited about we're definitely excited about the music. You can go over to C101.com and watch and listen to The Devil and I from Slipknot. Corey Taylor, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it.
No worries, man. My pleasure.